All right, hello everybody. We only have a few more days left of doing our calendar stuff, and a couple days here that we're going to do a few little lessons, and then we'll be all done for the summer. So not too much left to go. So I saw a lot of you yesterday at our supply turn-in. It's good to see you. Um, I got a couple of nice treats, so thank you, McKinley and Jackson. That was awesome. And Anna gave me something too, so thank you. We're going to do calendar today, and then we're going to get rolling. We're going to talk about ocean animals today. All right. Okay. Today we are putting up number 19 today. It is Tuesday, May 19th, 2020. The weather today, it is still spring. It is rainy again today. It is windy, and it is warm. Excuse me, it rained a whole bunch. The whole field is just covered in water outside on the side of our house and behind our house. And I still got that tickle in my throat today. All right. If we were at school today, we would have had music today. Yesterday, we would have had gym and library. And then tomorrow is Wednesday, we would have library or gym tomorrow. Okay. If we were at school this week, remember, we'd be doing our probably our field day this week, but probably wouldn't have got outside because of the rain yesterday and today. So that kind of would have stunk for the last week of school. We would have done summer fun day stuff, and we would do stuff with Bubbles. And I will be doing stuff with Bubbles. It might not be, within the next couple days, unless it really gets nice out. But we will do some stuff with Bubbles, so that'd be cool. All right. Hopefully you guys had something good for lunch with your menu. I just had some chips and stuff, and Josie and Jackson had a taco and some pizza. All right, let's go to the countdown. All right, so today is 177, which means we have 3 days left. So you got to count today, and then tomorrow, and then Thursday would be the last day of school. That'd be it. All right. Let's see, countdown to summer. Now, yesterday we did U, so you're supposed to do something under the table. Today is V, and it's visit. So it says to go on a visit. So, maybe you go visit the creamery, or you came to visit me yesterday, right? You could count that. Maybe you're going to go visit your grandma, or I don't know, go visit somewhere. Okay. All right, let's go on. Okay, so we're going to talk about ocean animals this week. So if we think about it, the ocean is a big place, right? Okay, so if we remember what our globe looked like, the globe was, pretty big, and most of that was blue, right? And all that blue was ocean, and the ocean is hundreds of miles, okay? And in the ocean, it goes down deep, couple miles deep, right? And so there's so much stuff in the ocean that there's sometimes that scientists are still finding new animals and things that live in the ocean because they live so far down deep that they just have never seen them before. Okay, so we're going to go through some cards here that have some ocean animals on them, and then I'll show you one. No, well, I'm going to go through the cards, and then I'm going to stop, and I'm going to actually read a few books. So there'll be a couple of videos with different ocean animal books. Okay, so they'll be kind of shorter, shorter little videos that you can watch. So if you don't want to watch one that's about sea stars or starfish, you don't have to watch it. Okay, so you can choose which ones you want. Okay, so we're going to go through some. This one, you guys can see that, that's a dolphin. Okay, these are spotted dolphins. They live in ocean. Oh goodness, sorry. All right, so these are spotted dolphins. They are up to 10 feet long, and they are 75 pounds. Okay, so usually 75 pounds is usually like somebody that's maybe, well, could be somebody in kindergarten if they're a big person. But usually, I think maybe Josie isn't even 75 pounds yet, so not even that much. All right, they have skin, and they like to eat fish and squid. All right, and now there's a super cool fact about them. It says spotted dolphins have no sense of smell, but they do have good sense of sight, hearing, and touch. Okay. All right, our next one is a humpback whale. Can you see that? There we go, a humpback whale. It is 40 to 52 feet long. Okay, now that's probably longer than a school bus. I'm not sure how long a school bus is, but I'm pretty sure that's longer than a school bus. All right, and they can weigh 66,000 pounds to 88,000 pounds. Okay, so it says 30 to 40 metric tons. So I would say that's probably like 10 semis, probably. I'm not sure how much a semi weighs, but probably a couple tons, right? So if a semi weighs 6 tons, let's just say, it would be 10 semis. That's big. All right, and the super cool fact on the back is, according to scientists, humpback whales probably have no sense of smell. They're not sure, but scientists think that they have no sense of smell. All right, these are clownfish. We're going to read a book later about clownfish. This is like Nemo from Finding Nemo. Finding Nemo is a clownfish. They are only 3 to 4 inches long, so about as big as a dry erase marker. They have scaly skin. They live among sea anemones in the Great Barrier Reef. Their diet lets the anemone kill other fish first, and then it eats the leftovers. Okay, so when we read about clownfish, you'll learn about this in the book later. But they live in a sea anemone, and it has little tentacles, and those things kill fish, and then the clownfish eats little parts of the fish that's left over, and we'll read about that later. They also eat plankton, shellfish, dead tentacles of the sea anemone. Okay. The clownfish has a slimy coat to protect it from the sea anemones that live nearby. So we'll read about that later, so I'll tell you about that, okay? But it has a slimy skin. All right, the next one. Oh, I gotta turn it this way. This is a seahorse, and we're gonna read about seahorses in a book later. They are about 7 inches long, so a little bit longer than a marker. They have bony plates, and they eat shrimp and other small crustaceans. And they live in shallow waters near Nova Scotia all the way down to South America. And it says seahorses are weak swimmers, and they swim by wagging their tails back and forth like a hummingbird flaps its wings. Okay, so if you've ever seen seahorses, they're only about, a little bit bigger than this marker. Okay, so a little bit bigger than that marker, but they're real skinny, and they don't swim very well because their fins aren't very big. This is a reef shark. You can see that. It has skin. It is about 6 feet long. Okay, so that's a little bit taller than Mr. Krager. And its brain is less than 3 inches long, so it has a tiny little brain. They must not be very smart animals. This is a barracuda. Look at those teeth on that thing. Scary. It can be almost 5 feet long. It has scaly skin. It eats fish and little fish like sardines. The barracuda is known to attack divers and swimmers, especially ones that are holding shiny objects that look like fish. And they are in the ocean near Mexico and California. Ooh, this is a weird looking thing. Look at this. Okay, this is called a dugong. Okay, and it is 9 feet long and weighs 600 pounds. It lives in shallow, warm coastal areas near India and southern Pacific oceans like Africa and Australia. It has skin and it eats plants. Okay, and it says, unlike other sea mammals, the dugong can't hold its breath very long and can only stay underwater for a few minutes. All right, and then we got, this is an elephant seal. It can be 16 feet long. That's pretty long. And weighs 8,800 pounds. And these live these live down south by Antarctica. Okay, so like where penguins are, down in the South Pole. And they eat fish and squid, and they actually have fur on them. And it says southern elephant seals swallow its food. Oh, goodness. They swallow its food whole because it has no flat teeth for chewing. Crazy. So like in our mouth, way in the back, we have kind of flatter teeth, right? And those are for chewing up stuff. The teeth in the front, right? Remember when we talked about teeth? Those are for biting stuff and cutting food. And then the ones in the back are for chewing it. All right. Polar bears, we know that polar bears, right? They live on the frozen ocean in the icy waters in Antarctica, and that's like by the North Pole. They can be 8 to 11 feet tall and up to 1,000 pounds. And they have fur, and they eat seals, seabirds, fish, berries, and grass. And remember, we said polar bears can smell food from up to 10 miles away. So that's farther than, like, if we were in our classroom, they could smell food at almost Chuck E. Cheese. Almost that far. Not quite that far, but pretty close. This is a Cape Gannet. It's a bird. It's 3 feet long, 5 to 6 pounds. It eats fish and it has feathers. It says, while hunting, the Cape Gannet is known to plunge dive from as high as 66 feet, goodness, above the water. So these birds will be way up in the sky, and they'll look down and they'll see something down in the ocean, and then they'll just shoot down like a rocket right down in the water. Kind of crazy. All right, and I'm going to go kind of quick with these next ones. So this is a Steller sea lion. Okay, eats fish. A moon jellyfish, if you can kind of see those, right? They're kind of see-through. They have 2 layers of cells separated by a layer of jelly-like substance. That's why they call jellyfish. And they eat small fish and plankton. A moon jellyfish first stings its prey with its tentacles to stun it. Then it pushes the prey into its mouth. This is a mantis shrimp. Okay. Kind of looks like a crawdad, right? And it has an exoskeleton. Remember, an exoskeleton is the bony part on the outside, right? Like an insect. It eats fish, crabs, and snails, and they molt their shells. Remember, that kind of means they shed. Oh my goodness. And then they grow new ones when their bodies become too big for the old shell, right? A sea otter. If you ever go to the zoo in Fort Wayne, you'll see sea otters, I think. They eat clams, crabs, fish, mussels, octopus, and squid. They have fur, and they live by the Pacific Ocean, so like by Washington and Oregon and things like that, up in the northwest part of the United States. Sea otters watch for danger by standing on shallow water and shading their eyes with both forefeet. So they actually can put their paws up like this and keep the sun out of their face. An octopus, it eats crabs and other small ocean animals. Octopus reach into small spaces between rocks to grab their prey and pull it out. Okay, an octopus can go through stuff that's real tiny, like a hole like this. And if you ever watched Finding Dory, right, there's an octopus on that movie that it gets into all kinds of crazy trouble, doesn't it? This one is a French angelfish. And they're actually big. They're 1 foot big. So big as Mr. Krager's shoe. That's a big fish. These are American white pelicans. Okay, and now this is not the same pelican that was in Finding Nemo, right? In Finding Nemo, there was Pelican that scooped up Nemo's dad, right? And Dory in its beak. And then I think might have helped Nemo at the end, right? These are different. These are American ones. These are ones that live probably down by Florida, I think, and North American coasts. So probably by Florida and stuff like that down that way. A manta ray. So it's kind of like a stingray. All right, you might see those. You can see those if you go to the Fort Wayne Zoo. King penguins, right? We've talked about penguins. And they eat fish and squid. Oh, do you guys know that one? Oh, I gotta turn it this way, sideways. You know that one? Yeah, you do. That's a flamingo, right? They're about 4.5 feet tall. Okay, probably about as tall as you are, maybe. They're covered in feathers. They eat little tiny animals, like real tiny little things that live in the water. They also eat seeds, algae, and stuff in the mud. Ew, gross. Okay, and flamingos live in flocks ranging in size from 200 to more than 1 million flamingos. That's a lot. And they live in South America, the Caribbean, the Mediterranean Sea, Persian Gulf. So a lot of them over by Africa, and then also the Caribbean Sea, which I think that's down south of Florida, I think. All right, and this is a mallard. That's just a duck. We see those at the canal all the time, right? They eat seaweed and grass and insects and little animals, okay? Ducks can run, swim, and even find food just 36 hours after hatching. Okay, so a couple days after, actually about 1.5 days after they hatch out of their egg, they can go find their own food. Isn't that crazy? All right, this is a green sea turtle. Right, those are in Finding Nemo. We're going to read about a book about sea turtles here after a bit. It says a green sea turtle can stay underwater for up to 5 hours. To adjust to living with less oxygen, its heart can slow to 1 beat every 9 minutes. 5 hours. So that'd be like if we went to school, and as soon as the bell rang for us to start school, you held your breath and you didn't breathe until after second recess. Could you hold your breath that long? I can't. All right, here's another one. This is called a loggerhead turtle. Okay, it can be 3 feet. The other one was 3 to 4 feet. That one was 60 pounds to 500 pounds. This one doesn't say how big it can get, but it eats crabs and mussels, crustaceans, sometimes fish. It says most turtles have 4 plates on their shell. The loggerhead turtle shell has 5 plates. So it has 5 plates on top. And the last one we have here, this is the common starfish. It can be up to 1 foot across, so as big as Mr. Krager's shoe. It has spiny skin. It eats mussels, clams, and oysters. Starfish use their suction on their feet to pry open shells and eat the meat inside. And a few years ago, when Mrs. Krager and I and Josie and Jackson, we went on vacation to Myrtle Beach, there was a storm the one day, and the next day we went on the beach in the morning and we saw all kinds of starfish. It was really cool. Okay, so maybe you might have went to the beach, to Myrtle Beach, or maybe you went to the Outer Banks or somewhere like that and you saw starfish, so that'd be pretty cool. All right, so I'm going to stop this video. I'm going to read a couple of the ocean animal books so you can decide which ones you want to read, all right, or which ones you want to watch. We're going to do a couple. We got a starfish book, or it's called Sea Stars, sea turtles, and we also have this stuff that we're going to talk about, sea turtles. We have one with sharks. We have a couple other ones with sharks. We have seahorses, clownfish, whales, and dolphins. Okay, so I'm going to read each one of those in different videos. Okay, all right, so you can pick and choose whichever ones you want. Hopefully you're having a good day today, even though you can't get outside. So Everybody have a great afternoon, and I will see you later. Bye.